Take it back to the floor of the United States Senate right now, where I'm sure you're looking at this and saying, Neil, there doesn't appear to be much tension or drama there, but there will be soon, because they're set to start a parliamentary process here that would trigger debate, go back and forth on this, and sometime late tonight, we're told, vote on it. It is looking increasingly likely that late tonight they will vote, and they will vote yay. In fact, there's a possibility that all 52 Republican senators, not a single Democratic one, that was largely expected, but all 52 will likely vote for this. It's still early, but you never know. James Lankford joins us, Senate Intelligence Committee, Republican Oklahoma Senator. Very good to have you.
Good to see you again, Neil.
Is that your thinking as well? Do I have that right? Sometime tonight?
It will be sometime tonight. It looks like we'll have 4 or 5 Republican amendments, 4 or 5 Democratic amendments as well. Each one takes about 25 minutes apiece. So sometime late tonight, we'll have our final wrap up and vote. And I do think it passes. Yeah.
Do you think every single Republican goes? When I last checked, Senator, the one potential holdout could be Senator Corker. That looks like Senator Flake is a yes. Senator Susan Collins, with its allowance made on local and state taxes, could be a yes. What's your sense?
I've not heard from Senator Corker yet how he's going to vote. I know he's supportive of the overall bill passage. He's not trying to stop it or slow it down.
Right.
But I've not heard him announce how he's going to vote yet.
Any prospect, you think, for Democratic votes?
I do think there's great prospect for that, and we'll just have to see where everyone lands on it at the end of the day. Quite frankly, I have a lot of the Democratic colleagues that come to me and say, 80% of this bill I really like, I just wish you would change this part, and they're going to have to make a decision whether they're going to come on board for the 80% they like, or if they can just stand on the sidelines and say, I'm going to oppose it, but I'm glad that it actually passed. Now, there's some, obviously, of our Democratic members that don't like any of it, but there's a good handful of folks, 5 or 10, 15 even, that like a vast majority of the bill.
And they might be encouraged if the Republican vote looks like it's going to go for it anyway to glom on, right?
Correct.
Okay. I'd be remiss, Senator, if I didn't want to get your thoughts on the General Flynn news today. Is the president in trouble?
No, I don't think the president's in trouble on this. This is something that General Flynn did that he should not have done. It's not the action that he did, it's that he actually did not talk about it completely and truthfully to the FBI. There's no question about his conversation with the Russian ambassador. He was being tapped to be the national security advisor. They were in the presidential transition time. This is after the election, connections with a Russian ambassador. There's nothing illegal. There's nothing inappropriate about that. And quite frankly, there's nothing inappropriate for the White House to say to someone who will be the next national security advisor, hey, go form a relationship with some of the Russians. We're going to have some conversations in the days ahead on different issues. Nothing illegal or inappropriate about that. What he shouldn't have done is he shouldn't have remembered it one way and said it another to the FBI. When the FBI talked to him about it in January, he should have given the complete facts. He didn't do that, and I still to this day don't know why he didn't give the full facts on that, and the White House fired him because of it.
So you don't think that this now cooperating, or it seems that he's cooperating and maybe serving up the president, as ABC is reporting, is accurate?
I don't think it's accurate. Again, the special counsel works independent of our committee, and obviously there's a lot that our committee has gone through in this process. I would be very surprised of that. But at this point, the special counsel is going to do its own work, as you saw with Paul Manafort. Paul Manafort's indictment was completely unrelated to the campaign. There'll be other opportunities when the special counsel encounters somebody. They can ask any question they want to, go any direction they want to.
All right. In the meantime, you're going to have this vote on the tax cut thing tonight. You're well ahead of this Alabama special election, an election in which Roy Moore, despite opposition from leaders in your party, is en route to becoming a United States Senator, or he could. How do you feel about that? Do you think he should be, if Alabamian voters choose him as their senator, be seated as a United States Senator?
I think this issue will follow him always, and I think that's the difficult. This is not one that goes away in the days ahead, that it will constantly be a distraction.
Would you recommend he be thrown out of the Senate in that event?
That I have not reached, and it's still a hypothetical issue, and quite frankly, with so many other issues, I've not even tried to mentally address that at this point. I just know that this is not going to go away.
What about mentally addressing the Al Franken situation? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to allow the ethics investigation to do its work. They've started their work on that. Al Franken has stepped up and said they should do it. They are doing it. Obviously, both leaders have stepped up and said absolutely. Let's let that one work through the right process, and let's get a decision on it.
Your colleague Ted Cruz seemed to think that Al Franken shouldn't be in the United States Senate, even though if you think about it, Roy Moore, at least what he's been charged with, and again, it's decades old, seems on the surface to be much more severe. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's a big deal for both. Again, the interesting thing for me is we as a nation are talking again about personal behavior mattering for your public life, and I think that's a very good thing. A couple of decades ago, we as a nation were talking about your private behavior doesn't affect your public life. It does, and it did at that time, and it does right now. So let's keep talking about it, and let's keep pushing leaders in media and in Hollywood and in Congress.
When there are private behavior issues, this came out John Conyers in the House, whose lawyer said he's not going anywhere. How do you feel about that?
It has to be addressed then by Congress. Here's the unique thing. I don't get to pick the people that I serve with. The people of those states and locations pick them. But once they're seated, we have a responsibility to be able to maintain ethical integrity here, not just for those individuals, but for the sake of the entire nation, for the body. If it becomes a distraction to the whole body and to the nation, that doesn't help us as a nation go forward.
Senator, thank you very, very much. Good luck tonight. It could be a late night for you, I imagine.
It will be.
It will be. All right. Senator James Lankford of Oklahoma.